Hi. Welcome to Angela's Anything Show Big Brother recap. So on this Thursday episode of Big Brother, a lot of stuff happened. It was a double eviction. So first thing that has to happen on this episode is Bridgette and Michelle, one of them needs to go home. So before we tune into them live, we see kind of what has unfolded the last few days. And basically, everyone was all set for Michelle to leave because she cries so much. But in like a last-ditch effort to actually play the game, Michelle and Bridgette kind of start being like, wait a second, Pauly is like controlling the entire house. So Bridgette, Michelle, and Natalie like talk about this, and then they confront James because they're like, oh, James, you have the power to like cancel out 2 evictions. If you, instead of using it to get Michelle out, what if you used it with like working with us and we did it to get Zaki out? They actually end up talking to the rest of the house and being like, hey, Pauly's running the house, let's do this, let's shake things up. And James is like, you know, Pauly wants me to get Michelle out because it's better for his game, but it's better for my game. It's better for my game to get Zaki out. Okay, so that's what they're gonna do. So then they tune in for like the live portion of the show, and I love when they do the live double evictions because Julie like rushes them and is like a bitch to them the whole time. She's like, let's move it along, let's move it along. So, and she's like adds like a nervous tension to the show. But basically as they're tuned in live, Julie's like, there's been a lot of drama and like tensions flaring since we tuned in live. Like a lot of stuff's been going on. So apparently there was this whole big blowout. It seemed like everything was really awkward against Pauly, and like everyone has just like exposed, like it seemed like there had been a huge fight within everybody in the house and everybody was just like spilling all their guts. But we don't know what happened yet, but it's like tensions were hot, you could tell. So the secret plan, last minute plan goes through. They end up voting Zaki out. But before there's even time to discuss how like how people have like flipped on Pauly, they have to go do a new head of household because it's a double eviction. So it's a really quick competition, and Corey wins finally. When he wins, he like lets out this like man bro banshee shriek, battle cry. He's just like, yes. But then he's all like beefed up, but then as soon as he goes into the house, he only has like 5 minutes to discuss strategy before he nominates 2 people, and he gets so nervous and he freaks out. So he and the executives, basically all of the guys, like I love when people make these large alliances towards like the middle to end of the game. Like you're gonna have to vote people out in like 2 weeks. So the executive alliance meet, and Corey's like, what am I gonna do? Like any ideas, like freaking out, and then just basically, I think what must have happened is they must have like not trusted Pauly and have been all throwing each other's names out. And he was like, look, are we doing this? Are we doing this? As in, are we doing this alliance thing? Like, what's the fucking deal? And he kind of like people like half-assedly kind of like shake and they're like, yeah, like we're still an alliance, but you can tell like Pauly's not even like looking at people. Like, you know, it's crazy how when somebody's game gets blown up, they instantly like, just like with Frank, it's like a similar thing happening. It's like, as soon as your game is blown up, you have like no other game. Just like, well, I guess I'll just like crawl back into my turtle shell. I'm like getting all allergy because I'm so hyped up. Oh, by the way, I know I wore this shirt in yesterday's review, but it is a different day. I have different hair, and that's really all that matters. Okay, so basically Corey nominates Bridgette and Michelle, which to me are the 2 safest freaking choices he could have made. This season is not as good as that. I mean, I love Big Brother, but I don't know, last season just had so many twists and turns and backstabs, and this season's so predictable. Like, everyone's so afraid because no one was like playing the game that well. So anyway, he nominates Bridgette and Michelle, and then they go and they do, before Michelle even has time to burst into tears, they have to go do a veto competition, which Corey wins again. So then he has to decide who he's gonna put up, and they quickly, a couple of them powwow about like who they're voting for, and you don't really hear anything they're saying, and then he decides he's not going to use the power veto on anyone, and it's time for them to vote, and you don't really hear much of what's going on. And that's something about this episode. It seemed like a lot was happening under the surface that we just didn't get to see, that we're going to see on Sunday, so we'll find out then. But basically everyone, the whole time it's like, oh, Michelle must be going home, Michelle must be going home. So in between the time where he decides not to use the veto and they come back to vote, Michelle like runs out, and they're not like supposed to move off the couches. She runs out, and like you see her again, she's like all changed, like as if she's going out to the club. She is so sure that she's going out the door that when she's giving her speech, she starts calling out Nicole, being like, you can't trust her, she's a snake. I blew up Pauly's game, so I'm so happy that I can leave knowing that I fucked his game up. Basically talking shit on every single person in the house. So imagine her surprise when everyone votes and they all vote for, what the fuck is her name? They all vote for Bridgette. It's a shock. And then when she finds out, she's shocked too. Everybody's shocked. Bridgette's pissed, and then she walks out and just like starts talking shit. Like, as she's walking out, she's like, Natalie, like, don't, like, you better stick up for yourself. I think another thing that happened is Pauly had been talking shit about Natalie, but we'll find out. Anyway, then the thing that kills me is Bridgette. So she gets out there and she's doing an interview with Julie, and she's like, I don't know, I guess maybe the people in the house saw me as a big threat, you know? They know I'm an independent, smart woman who can think for myself and stand up for myself. What? It's literally the opposite of how I would describe you. That's the opposite of what you've been. She played the game for like 5 days right before she got kicked out, and now she thinks she's some badass. And what's really ironic is that I actually found myself rooting for her over Michelle at the end. And now she's gone. But on the plus side, Zakia is at the jury house with Devon. They're probably going to be excited. I don't know what it's going to be like when Bridget gets there, but... So now, of course, after Michelle has called all these people out and she's so dumbfounded that she's still in the house, along with me, like, what is this strategy? Whose idea was this? It's a terrible idea. Why wouldn't they get Michelle out? It seems like a no fucking brainer. She starts to what? She starts to sob. She starts to sob because she feels bad. And at this point, Pauly's like, dude, you gotta nut up. And it's like, when Pauly is telling you to nut up, you really have to nut up because he is such a douche. Wait, no, not Pauly, Paul. They're both douches. I really can't keep it straight. There's like 2 people in the house that I like. Anyway, that was this episode of Big Brother. Double eviction, live. Fuck! We'll do it live! Fuck it! And we just did it live. And that's it. So, we'll find out more of what was so scandalous that happened tonight on Sunday, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!